A very good morning, students. Myself, Miss Rupal Desai from Srimati LPSAVANI VIDHYABHAVAN. Now, students, today we will start our new chapter, The Sound of Music. Now, the chapter is divided into mainly two parts. The one is the story of Evelyn Glennie, and the second one is Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Now, today we will discuss the first part, that is, Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now, student, today, before to start the lesson, I just wanted to give you the brief summary of the story. So, who was Evelyn? So, Evelyn was profoundly deaf due to gradual nerve damage. However, she was able to sense the musical notes in different parts of her body. She learned to open her mind and body to sounds and vibrations and did a lot of hard work with determination. She experienced that music poured into every part of her body. She could listen the music through her skin, her cheekbones, and even in her hair. On leaning against the drums, she used to remove her shoes so that the vibrations could pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Then she attended the Royal Academy of Music's 3-year course and went to become the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments. So, student, in this lesson we have the story of Evelyn, who was deaf, but still how she continued her journey, and now she was the source of inspiration for all the deaf children. So, how she live her life, how she performed on the stage, and how she started her journey as a music player, and she became the source of inspiration for not only deaf children but for every people who's having all the skills and potentials. So today we'll start the lesson, Evelyn Glennie and how she listened to sound without hearing it. Now student, we'll start the lesson. We'll start with the first paragraph. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. Now student, here the word jostle. Jostle means to push each other. So here it was a very rush crowd, means it was a peak time where so many passengers were pushing each other. It was a scene of a railway platform. So the girl was standing there and it was totally crowded place and everyone pushed each other. In that situation, she was standing for waiting for train. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibration of the approaching train. Now on that platform, one girl who was very skinny, the slight means small and thin. She was so skinny and thin. That girl was waiting for the train and she was quite nervous, but she is full of excitement and she felt the vibration of the approaching train. She could feel the vibration once the train start approaching to the platform, the vibration what she feels, and by the way she comes to know that the train is about to arrive on the platform. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. Now here why the girl was quite nervous, because she is going for her Royal Academy. It was her first day when she was joining there for her music academy, and that's why she was quite nervous, because it was her first day. And why she was excited? Because she could feel the vibration to arrive the train. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Now student, here we have the story which starts with the sentence that she was profoundly deaf. Now here the writer wants to say that every people who was standing on the platform, they were pushing each other for just get into the train, and this task was more difficult for the girl because it was quite challenging for her because she was deaf. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Now here the writer wants to say that she was not deaf by her birth, but the nerve system was gradually damaged, and because of that reason she's become deaf. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. Now her mother, she was the first one who noticed something went wrong with that girl at the age of 8 years when she was waiting for her turn to play the piano. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. So here the mother was the first person who noticed that something goes wrong with the girl. At the 8 years old, at the age of 8, when Evelyn was waiting for her turn to play the piano, at that time the mother realized something goes wrong with the girl. They called her name and she didn't move. The name was called out to play the piano for Evelyn, but she didn't heard it. The mother realized that she even didn't notice it. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. So the mother of Evelyn, Isabel Glennie, she realized that she didn't even heard that her name was called out. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. Even due to that time, Evelyn, she was finding some problems, some difficulties and she tried to discuss it with friends and even her classmates. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress urged her parents to take her too. Now here the writer wants to say that Evelyn had a gradual loss of hearing, and it was noticed for the first time by her mother when Evelyn was 8 years old. When her name was called out for playing the piano, she didn't go forward. She hadn't heard her name being called out. Then, by the time she reached the age of 11, her marks had declined. So, her headmistress, means the principal of the school, requested her parents to take her to the specialist and to find the solution with this girl. Now, at the age of 11, when Evelyn, who was not performing well in her studies and her marks had declined, so the headmistress, the principal, requested her parents to just go to see the specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. And then after consulting the specialist, the parents comes to know the reason that because of her gradual nerve damage, she was becoming deaf. Now the word impaired, the word means weaken. The word is already, students, given here in the textbook. You can see that. So after consulting the doctor ruled out the reason that because of her gradual nerve damage, she was become deaf. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. So the doctor has advised her parents that she has to wear the hearing aids to listen, and she has to send to the special school for the deaf children. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. After hearing this, after comes to know that now she's become deaf, Evelyn says that it was totally blank. She became totally blank. Now she thought that her life comes to an end without hearing qualities. How could she survive in her life? So she said that everything suddenly looked black, means she's become totally blank. She was not in a condition, in a position to express it, her pain. We'll move to the third para. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. At the age of 11, when she comes to know that because of the nerve damage, when she become deaf, the same time at the moment she become totally blank. But then after, within some time, she could made her mind, and then she says that Evelyn was not going to give up. She doesn't lose her hope to live her life. She was determined and to lead the normal life and pursue her interest in music. She decided that she could be reached to her goal. Whatever interest she created in the music, she will reach to her dreams, and she will fulfill all her aim and ambition. One day, she noticed a girl playing xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. "Don't listen through your ears," he would say. "Try to sense it through your ears." Now, one day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Now, it was a day when she saw one girl who was playing xylophone. Now, student, how the xylophone looked like, the picture was given at the side. You can see that. So once she saw that one girl was playing xylophone, and she also decided that she also learned to play the xylophone. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. When she described that she also having interest to play xylophone at the time, the music teachers, they were discouraged her that if she could not hear the music, how could she play xylophone? So the teachers were discouraged her, but only the man Ron Forbes, who was the percussionist. Percussionist means the person who can play tabla and drums. We can call that person as a percussionist. So that man Ron Forbes, who finds the potential, the qualities, the abilities in this girl Evelyn, and he gave guidance, and he is the only person who shows her way to play the music. He would say, now students, here which is very important line, you can underline that. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. He was playing in front of Evelyn two drums with having two different sounds. Don't listen through your ears, he say. Listen student, this is very important line. Ron Forbes, who plays a very important role in Evelyn's life for the journey of her music, So what he says? He says, don't listen through your ears. If you cannot listen from your ears, it's fine, don't listen it. Try to sense it in some other way. The man says, if you are not able to listen the music, it's fine, but you try to sense it, you feel the music. If you cannot hear, it's fine, but you try to feel, to sense the music. And suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. And then after Evelyn, when I already said that the man was playing drums in two different ways, lower volume and the high volume. So here the girl noticed, the man says that you sense, you feel the music, and after some time the girl noticed that she could hear the higher drum from the waist up, and she could find the lower drum from the lower part of her waist down. So by this way she started sensing and realizing the music through her every part of her body. Hobbs repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. Now this man Ron Forbes, he used to play the music in front of that girl every day. He made a practice, he made a habit, exercise to play in front of that girl in every hour. So by that way, gradually Evelyn started learning and sensing or feeling the music from each and every parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibration, though she was not able to listen it, but now she kept her mind and body open to catch the vibrations of music. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. And the rest work, it was done by her hard work. She was so hardworking girl and so determined that she never lose her hope, and she always moved further and further. She never looked back from that point onwards, and once she started listening music by feeling from her body, then she never looked back. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. Then after she started her journey in music, and once she was visited United Kingdom, UK with the musical orchestra, and age of 16, when she was 16 years old, she had clearly decided that music is her goal. She has to reach her dream in the line of music, means she has to make her career in music. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of academy. And then after, to learn more skills of music, she joined the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of academy. As she was so determined, so she performed the best in the academy and she scored a very good marks. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo. Before that, she was only playing music in orchestra, means with the group, but now she further started to present the solo performance. Solo means playing alone. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the award. Now in Royal Academy for Music, she was there for 3-year course, and during her that during her this teaching, then she was awarded a very top awards. Now the fifth para, and for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. Students underline that. Whenever she was out for her music company at that time, she always share a beautiful thought with others. If you work hard and know where you are going, if you work hard and you decided your goal, you definitely reach there. So whenever we find our goal and we do our hard work with all determination, we surely reach to the destination. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. So she learned more than 1,000 instruments in her life of music. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Now the word, students, in the paragraph number 6, the word is intriguing. Intriguing means fascinating. It was so beautiful sight when we see the girl who was playing on the stage who was completely deaf. She was playing so effortlessly, so smoothly that when we see the performance, we could not find that the girl could not hear. Means the girl is not quality of hearing. She was playing that much effortlessly. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. The writer who has written the story, he tried to say that when they interviewed the girl, he noticed that they were there for 2 hours, communicate with that girl, and they noticed that that girl even didn't miss a single word while communication with that writer. She never missed a single word. So it means that she was totally fluent in her language for her speaking. Man with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. Man with bushy beard, the man who is having a beard, so she could not read out the lips. Students, the person, this Evelyn Glennie, who was not, who was deaf, so she could notice the lip sync movement of the person while speaking. So that time she said that when the person who is having a long beard, so she could not see the lips, and that's why that is difficult for her to recognize that what the man is speaking. Man with bushy beards give me trouble. It was troubling for her to get the lip sync movement for that man who was having a bushy long beards. She laughed. It's not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Students, hear the word lilt. Just underline the word lilt, means the way of speaking. So here the girl says that not only lip sync, but she could read out the face through their from the eyes. She could find out what the person is trying to speak to her. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11. The girl says that why we can heard the flawlessly speaking that girl, because she says that when she was 11, at that time she had a quality for hearing. So till 11 years she is able to listen or hear. So that by that time she could learn such words and the way of speaking. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Even during the interview with that girl, she also told them that she learned the French and Japanese also. But here it was not mentioned that how she could manage to learn this both the language. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even my hair. So here the girl says that now the story is having the concept that how she learned the music. So here she says that it pours in through every part of my body. She says that she could feel the music from every part of her body. It tingles in the skin. She says tingles means it gives the vibration, sensation to her skin, to her cheekbones, and even in her hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. Now listen, students, you can see the xylophone. The picture is already given in the textbook. Now xylophone is played by the two sticks. So she says that when she played the xylophone, how did she listen, how can she hear? So when she pick up the stick to play the xylophone, so through that stick, through the fingertips, she could sense the vibration of the music, and by that way she learned to play xylophone. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonance flowing into her body. When the drums was playing, she was just attached or just standing in such a way that by touching the drums, she could sense the vibration of drums. The word here, resonance. Resonance means the echo, the sound. On a wooden platform, now when we are standing in a wooden platform, so that time how did she hear the music? So she said that on a wooden platform, she removed her shoes so that the vibration passed through her bare feet and up her legs. So on the wooden platform, when she tried to play some instrument, at that time she removed her shoes so that, and she was standing there bare feet without any shoes, so she could feel the sensation or the vibration of the instrument or the music through her feet and up her legs. So these are the ways how she learned or how she played the music, how she feel the music, as she was not hearing, as she was not having the quality to listen or to hear, but still she sensed the vibration and the sensation of music, and she learned and become the history, she become the inspirations to all the children and all the people. Now we'll move to the 8th paragraph. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. And in the year 1991, she was awarded of the soloist, means she was playing all alone, and she got the prestigious Soloist award on that year, says master percussionist James Blades. What this man says, it's a very beautiful line said by the man. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. So a beautiful line said by this man. What he says, that God had taken the hearing quality from that girl, but in return he gave her some extraordinary skills, which what we hear, she feels. The things what we hear, we have the quality to hear, but that girl was having the potential to sense or feel the music far more deeply than any of us, which is very impossible for us to realize or sensing the music. But this girl, without any hearing qualities, she could sense the music. That is why she expresses music so beautifully, and this is the reason that whatever she performs, she gave her performance from her heart, and that is all her performances were beautifully expressed by her, because she was not playing, but she was feeling and she was sensing the music, and then after she played in front of the audience. So that's why that it's expressed music very beautifully. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. She was very much workaholic, means she was a person who finds difficult to stop working. Every time she was quite busy in her work. She was that type of a person. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians. but the rewards are enormous. Enormous means we cannot express. It's a huge one. Whatever reward she got in her life in the journey of music, that's are precious. We cannot express it in the words. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concert in prisons and hospitals. Underline this, students. Though she was performing a very big, we can say that having so many performances, concert, but apart from that she was also giving music auditions, or we can say that the programs also she conducted for prisons and the hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Even she gives the training to the young musicians also. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. One of the NGO who is working for the deaf children, they acknowledge this girl's efforts and says that she's a shining star and giving inspiration to all the deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. So at the very young age she received so many awards and recognition in the world of music. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, physically challenged, people who look to her and say. So here in the last para, the writer wants to say that she was giving an inspiration to the people. Though she was profoundly deaf, she has been a role model for children. According to Anne Richlin, she is a shining inspiration for the deaf, as they see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. The handicapped children feel that if she can do it, then even they can. So here the beautiful line concluded our first part, that if she can do it, I can. So the physically challenged people, they also acknowledge these girls that if she could do it, then we can also do. If the person who was deaf and still she achieved the height of success, if she could do it, we can do it. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. She gave a huge pleasure, huge entertainment to the millions of people. So this is the story of the Evelyn Glennie, who reached to the height of success in the music with his qualities of not hearing. So here we have the story. We concluded that the girl is the source of inspiration for not only deaf children but for the people or for all the human beings.